Hey everybody, it's me. How about maybe? This is a new series I wanted to do where I just do mental health walks, basically, and just give my thoughts on my mental health, and maybe I can help somebody as well with it. So if you're not into hearing about my mental health or discussing mental health, the series might not be for you, but I kind of really do want to make this get some kind of a foreclosure of me to get things off my chest and just, it's a silly reason, I suppose. It might be, I don't know. Also, it just makes me feel better, just talking, and of course, if I can make people feel better about their own mental health struggles, that will definitely make me happy and, make a positive impact. So for the first episode, I kind of just want to talk about something that I think a lot of mental health issues are, I'd say most probably, stem from. Mine especially are regrets of not saying something I should have when to somebody, regrets of doing something, regrets of just regret, basically. It all comes from the past for the most part. And I have anxiety. I have an anxiety disorder. And like regret from me with anxiety isn't just I'm sorry, I'm sad that happened. It is, I feel like this is normal. Like, what's going to happen now that I did it or didn't do something? What will happen in the future because of that? And that, I hate that it happened in the past, and I also hate, like, the thought of what's going to happen in the future because of that, I haven't, done anything majorly wrong, in my opinion, but there have been things that I regret doing in emotion because I was just angry at the world, and I'm afraid those things can, come back and bite me. Let me give a specific. I'm not going to be too specific here. I'm going to be vague. I'm not comfortable enough saying these things on my YouTube channel. But there was one thing I did where I remember, I believe it was fall 2024, I was so incredibly pissed off at the world, so angry at everything. Maybe I think it went through 2025 as well. I was just angry, so angry and just sad, distraught that I tried to troll people online, basically, and, rage bait them, not very effectively. I just DM'd them on Reddit, basically. But I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and I ended up kind of... Okay, well, sorry. I'm a bit discombobulated. I tried to basically troll, enrage, anger these people who I personally believe were doing horrible things and condoning horrible things and fantasized about horrible things. And I ended up saying I agreed with them, that I actually wanted to do these things as well. It's nothing. Now these actions are, some people would say, not even bad, but I personally find them to be disgusting. And I never wanted to do these things. I never condoned these things publicly. But in private with these people, I was like, you're doing good things. It's completely fine what you want to do. And I kind of enabled them, I feel like. It's nothing that would be... I don't believe what I was condoning is considered a felony. However, I consider it immoral. And I was too nervous. Because I was too nervous to just actually try and like say horrible things to a person. And because I didn't want to make people upset, I ended up condoning and possibly enabling these people. And it's one of my regrets, and I'm worried about the future. Like, what are those people going to do now that I might have enabled them? And I've told other people details about this, and they're like, no, I think you're fine. I don't really think what you did was bad, and trust me, I know that the way I'm describing it, it sounds worse than it probably is, but my anxiety won't let me quell. And of course, another anxiety I have is that even though I deleted that Reddit account, those DMs with those people could surface, and it sounds like I actually want to do these immoral actions, and that I condone this and I fantasize about this when I don't. And that's a pit in my stomach that just festers in my stomach so often that I think what's gonna happen if people have screenshots of those DMs. It's like, I know I was panicking. I tried to do it multiple times, and multiple times it was the same outcome. So I needed therapy instead of somebody to yell at. I needed somebody to talk to. I didn't need somebody to yell at. And honestly, it might come from that, is that maybe subconsciously I was willing to talk with anybody, even these people who I consider to be quite gross. I don't know. I saw how they interacted with each other, and they were encouraging, even if they were encouraging thoughts and actions that I considered to be immoral and gross. Maybe subconsciously, I just wanted somebody to tell me that, I don't know, say something positive to me, even if I had to look in the most disgusting places for it. Maybe, I wasn't going there. I was going there with full intent to scream at these people in DMs and say, haha, you're disgusting, you suck. And then when I opened those DMs, my demeanor changed completely. Yeah. That's not the only thing I have regrets about. I have regrets about ways I've acted. I'm a people pleaser, and that has led me to not put boundaries with people where I should sometimes. There are times where somebody does something that upsets me, and I just go, please don't do that. And even in an even joking voice. And if I'm going to be saying something to somebody in a joking voice, oh, please don't do that. It sounds like it's just oh man, you said something cringe, you shouldn't do that, instead it actually really upsets me, because my mind has been, I can't put boundaries down with people without upsetting them, probably. And I've done that more. I've been better at that recently, but I'm still scared to put boundaries down. And this leads into regrets, is if I don't say that, hey, when I put down a boundary with somebody, there's a big chance I'm probably leaving something out accidentally or on purpose, because if I say that thing in that moment, I'm going to have a panic attack. I'm going to have a really bad time. If I say this boundary right then and there, I'll stating a bunch of other boundaries, and then it looks like I'm the one digging up old dirt when I say a boundary related to a previous boundary, I didn't establish all those boundaries at that time, but when I could have, but I didn't. So Is my opportunity to say these things gone forever? I don't believe so. Most people would probably just accept the explanation of, I couldn't bring this up then for my own sake, or I needed more time to think about it, so it goes a bit further, this boundary goes a bit further than I initially thought it did. And that's the thing, and most people are accepting of that. Like, I've even found that in my experience. But anxiety just takes a small mistake that isn't even that big and makes you so worried about it. Me enabling those people might not even be that big a deal. The actions I was enabling were not, again, it sounds worse than it is, but they were not like murder or anything. It was not anything to do with I don't want to say the word just in case somebody gets triggered, but is a 4-letter word that starts with R and ends with E. I'm probably making more of a big deal, especially since I started doing it when I was 17. I started like yelling at people when I was trying to yell at people when I was 17, and ended up condoning what they're doing and acting like I wanted to participate, enabling them. And it's like, is it actually as big a deal as I'm making it, or is it a bigger deal than I think it is, or is it the exact size deal that I'm making right now? It's hard to tell. I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I'm just confused as to what the general consensus would be, and I'm confused as to whether or not I should feel guilty for my actions, because I've had people saying, like, what you did isn't even that bad. People are like, it's not that bad. It's, you never wanted to take part in it. You've never taken part in those things. It's not that bad. And I'm like, is it really? Enabling people who do bad things can be a very bad thing. I don't like what I did. In my opinion, I need to, I need to not do that ever again. And if I ever were to do that again, I fully believe that people would have a very valid reason to cut me out of their life if they found out that I did it again. And I shouldn't even be trying to yell at strangers. I should be talking with somebody, and instead of trying to take my anger out on people who, even though I think they're immoral and disgusting, I shouldn't be trying to take my anger out on them. I should be talking with somebody about that. I should be talking to a therapist about that. And I regret not seeing that therapist at that time. And space. I had a conversation about, I think, July of last year with a friend of mine late on Discord, and something you need to know about me is that I have some traumas. Everybody has trauma. Everybody does. You think you don't, you definitely have trauma of some kind. It just comes with being human. And I effectively asked her the question of, hey, if we meet in real life, you won't do this specific thing to me, correct? And she had been falsely accused of that earlier on in her life, of doing that thing I asked that she wouldn't do. And to her, it came off that I was accusing her of that. So she blew up at me. She screamed. She threatened to kill me in my hardcore Minecraft world that I had invited her on. And she yelled at me, and yelling makes me shut down emotionally. I cried. I felt horrible, and I regretted saying that for months. I went on a break from Discord, and I stopped for months going on Discord, and I just regretted it. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I shouldn't have been yelled at. I was not accusing this person of anything. I was not doing anything. I was clearly vulnerable. And while I understand why the question might upset this person, might have upset that person, when I gave my explanation, like, I don't know, I understand why it upset this person, but like, and I'm not saying that this person couldn't be upset. It's completely understandable to me. However, the reaction to break my pre-established boundary of I don't like being yelled at and to threaten to kill me in my hardcore Minecraft world are just way too far of realizations. And when I came back to Discord, she realized that. She said, "I'm sorry. It was an understandable reaction, but not a reasonable one." And, you know, we're still friends, still really good friends. And things have calmed down mentally for me from that. I still think back and I still shudder sometimes because I just really hate being yelled at. But the regret I felt for those 4 months that I was off Discord, I don't know, they're still kind of there. I understand, like, I didn't say anything wrong, but I don't know. I wish that I was perfect, I guess. I wish that, like, I shouldn't have regret about that night. But I do. My regret is that I'm not perfect, I guess, and that I sometimes say things that aren't meant to upset people, but will upset people. And I hate upsetting. Like, even if I am not in the wrong at all, or morally, or whatever, for saying what I said, if it still upsets somebody, I still feel really bad. So it's caused me to choose my words too carefully, I think, where it's hard to communicate with people sometimes. You kind of saw that earlier in this video. Like, I could have just said the 4-letter word that starts with R and ends with E at any point, but I didn't. I didn't say it. And I could just say it. I don't know why I don't just say it. I mean, I do. It's because I don't want to upset anybody. I really hate upsetting people. So, you know, like, if I say I was in the city of Arkansas and then somebody around me is like, I'm very upset that at hearing that word, I was robbed in the city of Arkansas. I shouldn't consider myself at fault. I didn't know that would upset them. Hell, I probably didn't even know they were robbed in the city of Arkansas, and yet I will consider myself at fault. Somebody pretty close to me said it best when he said that sometimes things just hurt. And I've been doing better at that. I've been realizing that sometimes things are not my fault. Sometimes things are not my fault and somebody gets hurt. And it just has to hurt. It is my responsibility to remember that and maybe not bring that up around that person in the future. However, it is also their responsibility to work on themselves from, the Arkansas trauma. Yeah. That's all I feel like saying about regrets and mental health right now. Basically, I just have there's no way to say basically. There's no way. This is a 20-minute long video. There's no way that this is going to be summed up with a basically, but I have regrets. Everybody has regrets. Regrets can be worsened by anxiety. And, the one thing I don't think I'll ever be able to stop regretting, but I can be happy knowing that I won't take those actions again. And that every time I regret something, I've also learned from something. So that's the silver lining. I love you all. You all have an amazing day. And I plan to keep posting some videos like this. You all have a lovely day and peace.